There are three main areas of vocabulary knowledge: definitional knowledge, contextual knowledge, and conceptual knowledge. Definitional knowledge sounds like the word definition. That's because it is the ability to define a word and use it in a sentence. This is usually done in isolation. If you think back, I know when I was in middle school and high school, we had these horrible vocabulary books, and each week we were assigned a week of vocabulary words, and we worked in our little vocabulary books, and we wrote them 10 times each, and we wrote definitions, and we learned all of these words that had no meaning to us. And at the end of the week, we took a test. We had definitional knowledge of those words. Here's the thing with definitional knowledge. If you make no connection with definitional knowledge, you forget it. And so all of those vocabulary words that I learned, if I didn't use them, I lost them. And so definitional knowledge is important, but it's not the most important form. When we teach boys and girls, we need to make sure that we are combining definitional knowledge with our other two categories. Now, contextual knowledge is the ability to understand a word's meaning and use it in the context of a sentence. And so this is the application of vocabulary. And so, first of all, we want to be able to teach boys and girls to use context clues to guess words, and we learned about that when we were talking about decoding. But also, contextual knowledge is really to understand the kinds of words. Are we looking at words that are verbs? Are we learning words that are nouns? Are we looking at adjectives or adverbs? And so understanding the kind of word that you're using in the sentence. Also, why we use different words at different times. And so this is our contextual knowledge. Last, we have conceptual knowledge. And this is the ability to understand a word's meaning using knowledge about the concepts related to the word. So if you're learning about pumpkins, you begin to develop a conceptual knowledge of other words related to pumpkins. If you're learning about the solar system, you begin to learn other words that are based around the concept of the solar system. And when we combine definitional knowledge with contextual knowledge and conceptual knowledge, then we form a bond with the words we're teaching. Also, we need to remember that we have to teach the words in context to a theme or a content area. So back when I was in school and we had these random words in vocabulary books, they had no connection to my life and they had no connection to what I was learning. Let's say instead my teachers decided that in science I would learn vocabulary words each week that were related to the topic we were learning. Or in math, I would learn vocabulary words based on the topic that we were learning. Then I would have some contextual and conceptual knowledge about the words and probably hold on to them much longer than just picking random words and memorizing for a week. So we really need to remember this when we develop our vocabulary programs in our classroom. We do not want to learn random words or teach random words. We have to have them be meaningful to either what we're learning or the theme we're learning about or to the children's life. Now, vocabulary knowledge has 4 components: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And how we use new vocabulary when we're listening and when we're speaking and when we're reading and we're writing develops the breadth, which is the size, and the depth, which is the level of understanding of our vocabulary. And this is why sometimes we ask, have you heard of the word? Have you heard the word and do you understand the word? Can you use the word? Can you teach the word? That's really that scope of how well we know a word. And the ability to use a word in our listening, speaking, reading, and writing means we understand it at our highest rate.